Leafs 7-3 over the Winnipeg Jets, even outscoring what they scored against us last time. And what is your guess for what Mark Scheifele's post-game speech is going to be tonight for the Winnipeg Jets?
I actually don't even know how he's going to handle this. After the first period, he is probably thinking, wow, I can't wait for this post-game conference. My God.
Do you remember the last game one that he had?
No.
So that was the one that this was the one that beat us 6-3 earlier in the year. And you'll remember, he like got up in front of all his teammates. He was like, is there anything better than beating the Leafs? And they're like, two guys cheered or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So it'll be interesting to see what direction he decides to go on this one, where they just got utterly dominant. Actually, I shouldn't say that. The first 10, 15 minutes, we looked bad.
Yeah, I messaged you. I went, here we go.
Yeah.
This is it. We're crashing down back to earth.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about when we looked bad is the Jets still looked bad. You know what I mean? Like, we were not playing our game. We're giving pucks away, but like the Jets still weren't good. So like Gio had a rough first period other than his goal, which was a little lucky, let's be real, but like two of those goals
first couple were greasy goals, and we never get those like crash the net rebound goals. So it was kind of a change of pace.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, where's this game gonna take us? And this game literally had everything. Mm-hmm. What didn't this game have? Like, it was sick.
It had us coming back from being down, us holding on to a lead, some power play goals,
shorthanded,
like hustle plays, fights, like refs doing terrible calls. Like, this is what I don't get. So when I won't even talk about the Boston incident with the Taylor Hall, but like Bunting gets cross-checked in the head and no call, let alone like anything. In a game where the refs know that it's going to get out of hand because the Jets are dirty. And right off the bat, they allow that to happen. And it's like, then they kick out Simmons at the end for the possibility that he might fight.
It looked like he was initiating a fight. Like, come on.
Yeah, but you're not going to throw out a guy or even call a penalty for cross-checking in the head.
Yeah.
You know? And I bet that doesn't even get taken a look at by player safety, even though Matthews did this very similar thing. You know, it's just, it makes no sense. And that's going to be so frustrating in the playoffs because we keep showing time again that we're just like, we don't play dirty back, you know? And like at times I'm like, can we? But then also it's tough. Okay, what would you rather? This question for you. Would you rather, if like someone is going to be dirty and like take a penalty, would you rather go on the power play and not defend yourself, or defend yourself and take a penalty but show that you can defend yourself? What's your thoughts on
that? The first thing I always think of in that scenario is the playoff game when Auston Matthews against Boston in front of the net, and he's being shooken and he's just like
oh, that was Montreal last year.
Oh, Montreal, that's it. Yeah, I always think of that, and I'm like, and then we're just laughing at them. So I'd rather the power play.
You'd rather
not be the tough guy that everyone wants you to be. And then when you are, you get suspended. So
like, everyone in the comments actually let us know what your thoughts are on that whole thing. Depends. I feel like it's definitely like an age demographic thing. But I think in the playoffs, like, and the tough thing about that is that the league has already said that they try and call the same amount of penalties to each team. So like, no matter what you do, you're still going to have an even amount of penalties. So it's like, the question is like, okay, if you know that, you might as well retaliate in some degree. You know, it is a tough one.
The other call that I think about during this game was that like trip on Matthews when he was on basically a breakaway, and there was just no call. Like, didn't even look like he was thinking about calling it. I'm like,
And Engvall getting tripped behind the net, like blatantly tripped, and then it's
yeah, the consistency has gone from the game.
yeah, and especially against the Leafs. Even I think Ray Ferraro was talking about it in game. He was talking about how the Leafs get called like one of the least amounts in the league, and he's like, I don't even know how that happens.
And they're one of the highest puck possession teams, so
and one of the fastest teams in the league.
Yeah.
And there was an article on TSN I read about the discrepancy. Of course, they didn't choose the Leafs in Colorado. They chose Carolina in Colorado, and they were talking about how Carolina gets like no calls against, but the Colorado gets like the most by far, and it's like a 92 call difference over a year, which is like over a call a game.
Yeah.
And it's like the discrepancy between the Avalanche and the Carolinas speed and penalty taking doesn't make that much, like that's such a large degree difference. It'd be different if it was like Arizona and Colorado,
Yeah, definitely.
But like even then, 92 over a year, that's over one a game. It just and the Leafs are probably. I would actually be interested to see where the Leafs stack up in that, but yeah. Enough complaining about the refereeing because it's just going to last all the time.
Some highlights.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews. 50.
Yeah, 50.
5-0, baby.
were you at all a bit upset that it was an empty netter?
No. He's earned that.
Yeah.
Like, you should have had one the other night, so it made up for it.
I think he actually, because I checked this a while ago, is one of the top 5 goal scorers. He has the least amount of empty netters. So if anyone wants to try and take that away from
most 5-on-5 goals or something.
Yeah, like Draisaitl has 7 empty netters or something like that. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I just think it would be better for him if he would have put like a nasty wrist shot in.
Yeah. We'll do that for the 60 Berg.
Yeah, for the 60. Do you think he gets 60?
Yeah, I think he's going to.
Yeah. What is there, 10 games left or 14 games left? I think 14 games left. And I think he needs to score 10 and 14, which is definitely doable. As long as he doesn't get suspended again for talking.
And then what a comeback game for William Nylander.
Yeah.
Epic. He was awesome.
Do you like those lines the way they are now?
I think as long as he's okay with it, I'm okay with it for now.
Yeah.
Because if I was him, I'd be a little pissed still, but
I don't know, man. Engvall is looking awesome. Engvall is so fast that like him and Mikheyev are very
starting to live
players.
Up to that potential that we all saw.
Yeah, well, we all saw and didn't see. Let's be real, Leaf fans. Not all of us saw. Very few of us saw the potential that Pierre Engvall could be.
Yeah, he'd have like flashes, but then do such stupid stuff. You're like,
like take bad penalties, and that was his issue.
Now he's being awesome.
Yeah, and looks like a total Chad. So that's great. So who are your top 3 performers? Let's go with Willie. Austin is just a unanimous, but so you have 2 more top performers.
Like, is Mitch an obvious one too? Because
no, it's not an obvious one.
Okay, because he's looked amazing the last few games. So if he can continue that, like that's it's so good when he's good. Yeah.
Did you see the stat that came up in the first? I think that was like Marner leads the league in points since January 15th.
No,
and Austin. So he's number 1, 55 and 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Austin Matthews is number 4 in the entire league.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's like 2.5 months sample size. So that's pretty good. So who's your number Mitch, 3?
And then the third. Oh my gosh. Who else had an epic night?
Can I take one for you?
Maybe Mick?
Okay. Yeah.
Just because he's just been clutch too, and especially on the PK or the shorthanded goal. Like, I love how aggressive we are, and it clearly shows that the risk reward is worth it.
Yeah, don't you feel like we almost have a chance to score every PK?
Yeah.
It's
instead of just sitting in your block, like we're just rushing you, and it's so fun.
And we have the speed to get back in time to like stop odd man rushes and stuff like that, because you don't see many of them, even though we're so aggressive, which is cool.
Yeah. All right, who are your 3?
So my number one is Timothy Liljegren. He has, and not just this game, but just the games since Gio has come here. And I know he didn't play with Gio tonight. I think he played with Dahlstrom, who actually didn't look bad either.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was my surprise performer
tonight. And he's like 6'5", like he's a big dude. He can clear bodies. Like it's good to know that we have that depth. Although we have Lyubushkin, Sandin, and Muzzin, so God forbid we ever need Dahlstrom to come up in the playoffs. But no, I think I would find it very hard to take Liljegren out of the lineup because he even plays with so much confidence now. Where at the start of the year, you could tell he just didn't want to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just like a little bit more sure. You can even see it on his face on rushes. And defensively, he's good. He obviously scored. I wasn't even thinking about the goal. I would have said him before he scored. But I just I think regardless of who he plays with now, he's at least in our top 6.
Yeah.
But that brings up like when Muzzin, Sandin, and Bush come back.
Yep.
Like obviously Hall has to be out, right? Please take Hall out because he's going to be in my poor performers just as a spoiler.
Yes.
But like what happens? You know?
Yeah.
Like Sandin or Liljegren, I think has to be the choice.
Yeah.
And it depends who you're playing, I think.
Yep. All year I would have said Sandin, but ever since Gio came, him and Lily and Gio just have a great chemistry together. So like I wouldn't say no to putting him in because clearly now they have ice time together. Like it's awesome.
It's a good problem to have.
I hope Sandin can come back and get a chance to play with him as well. And then you can see it could be even better with Sandin, but who knows?
Do you remember the days when Martin Marincin was our 7th D man? How far we've come.
Someone put a comparison of our like defensive line in the playoff versus what we have now, and it's just crazy.
It's so much better now that we didn't need Travis Dermott. And traded him. And then I would say my next 2 top performers, Pierre Engvall obviously gets it.
Nice.
And then I'll just give it to Dahlstrom because I thought he looked good. I thought like he didn't make any mistakes. He played well.
Going down like that, it'd be so easy to just start giving in.
No, exactly, and just like on no notice. But I know he's been up with the club a bunch, just never played.
And got an assist tonight.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Nice. I will just give the entire 4th line a little shout out because for the first time since like the first month of the season, Simmons looked good, and Clifford, he's in the right position, but he's just not that good. But like,
you're not that guy, pal.
It was a decent move. I know you've tested me about it before about Blackwell being out, and I think like Keith knew that this game that like the Jets
be like this.
We're just gonna be chippy, so like you might as well. The only thing I was like kind of off is like maybe put Blackwell in for Spezza because like Spezza was the one that hit Pionk and caused like the 6-game suspension on himself. So like don't put that guy in against a team that might be seeking revenge. That was the only thing for me, but I was like, maybe he didn't want to appear like he was scared or something. But like at this point, who cares? Jets suck. They're not even close to the playoffs. Like they're not making it. They suck. And Scheifele is trash. He's trash. I said it on the one podcast a long time ago. He's just not good. I don't like him. Okay, so let's just go with one poor performer.
One poor performer. I think we had the exact same one. You said Hall. I was also going to go with Hall. He's been trying to play like really offensively lately, but like he still has a bit trouble. If he has to back check, it's just not his strong suit. Like he has to be already in position or like in our own end to be effective. But I feel like whenever there's some kind of break or he has to hustle back, it's 9 times out of 10 never good.
It doesn't feel like
does like a diving play and it's either a hero or you're an idiot.
Doesn't it feel like he at least gets like thrown to the ice with a huge body check once a game? like no one else on the Leafs gets absolutely destroyed except for Andre
used to be
Kasha, but he does it
Dermott.
to himself.
Yeah.
But Justin Hall just every game gets absolutely annihilated. I wonder what that is. It's not like he's a small. He must just put himself in bad positions.
He thought he looked cool with the like bubble cage, and he's like, I want that.
Yeah, yeah, he needs
Hit
it.
my face.
He needs it. Yeah, I don't think we need any more poor performers. I thought everyone else looked good. I really like Bunting right at the start of the game was getting a little chippy.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like shows what, because that's not a playoff style game, but they're playing a team which is obviously going to try and physically out physical the Leafs, and he wasn't putting up with it. And that's like the perfect kind of guy for the playoffs against the Boston. Like Bunting versus Marchand, if we end up playing Boston, will be a great,
all eyes.
All eyes on those guys. Two rats, one licks, one scores at a rookie goal scoring pace. And I think we have Jack Campbell starting on Saturday against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh, frig, I hope we win. It's such a perfect team to face. So please, Jack, we need you back.
Yeah.
Our goalie depth is gone.
Everyone's hurt. Yeah. Hutch is the next guy up.
Yeah.
Was Hutch our backup tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's scary.
That's tough.
So please be healthy and ready to go.
And do we want to see Abruzzese up in the lineup next game? I feel like we do, just to see what he's all about, because there's so much hype surrounding him.
I've heard a lot about him. Haven't seen one highlight, so it'd be cool. Yeah, give the kid a go.
Another 5'9" guy, just like might as well just stack the team against Ristolainen, who's like a big guy that can't do anything else. That's our post game. We're gonna try and do a longer podcast, but everyone, let us know in the comments what you think about standing up for yourself in terms of getting retaliatory penalties. Are you in favor, and does your mindset change in playoffs versus regular season in terms of retaliation? Do you want to see a guy like Austin Matthews stand up for himself and get a match penalty instead of going to the power play? What's your thoughts on that? Does it depend on the player? Just let us know. And we'll talk about it a little bit next podcast to see what Din has to say, but I'm sure he'll throw some F-bombs in about it on the way.
And then to end it off, we have 15 games left and we're currently in second place.
Yeah. One point up on Tampa.
Yep.
Okay.
They have a game in hand, but
and we played Tampa 2 times, I think.
Yeah.
And Florida 1 or 2 times.
I think 1.
Yeah, that'll be. And we play Boston again. This will be an interesting final stretch.
Yeah, to end the season too.
Yeah, that'll be good. Does your mindset change on who you want to play in the first round at all between Carolina, Boston, Tampa, or Florida?
No.
Is there one team that you absolutely wouldn't want to see?
No, I'm not. I just don't even know how to actually feel right.
Yeah.
I'm so mixed because there's just so much PTSD where it's like,
I know.
Just give us anyone.
Just give us anyone, and we'll have to beat them eventually. But once we get out of the first round,
I kind of want Boston.
They don't look that good.
They don't.
But then they just beat a team 9-1 or something today. But they just didn't look. They looked slow. But that would be a hell of a playoff series because they're a dirty team, and oh man, there'd be some injuries.
There's so much emotion.
Yeah. The other thing too about Carolina that I find would be tough is like, do we want to go against Freddie Anderson, who we've always talked about was not good enough in the playoffs? And if he shows up and pulls a Carey Price on us,
my God,
how bad does that look? Right. So, but also how good does it look if you play like you did in our net for the many years, right? So yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't really care who we play. I would say Tampa would be probably, I would rather not. All the other teams, I think we can beat. I think we can beat Florida. I think we can beat Boston. I think we can beat Carolina. Tampa, I still think we could beat, but they would be my most hesitant just because of their experience.
On the big podcast we do, maybe this weekend, I want to kind of go through how the playoff system works because I've already forgotten
Okay.
who faces who.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it first versus fourth, second versus? I don't
Do you want
know.
me to do it super quick?
Yeah.
So the first place of each division, so Carolina and Florida right now, will play the wildcard teams. So whoever has the most points between them will play the last place wildcard team, and the whoever second. So I think Carolina would play the first place wildcard team, and then second versus third play each other.
Okay. Could be unpopular opinion, but also in the comments, chuck in, do you want the old system back?
Yes.
First versus eight. Like,
yes.
I think everyone just wants it back. It gets a little silly because then those shit divisions easy every year. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Just out of curiosity, let me do it super quick right now. Who we would play if we were in the 91. So
this would be cool.
2, 3. We would be fourth, and we'd play Tampa or Pittsburgh first round.
Okay.
So it would make the shitty thing is that the Metro and the Atlantic are by far the best divisions. So no matter what, you're going to get a good team. Whereas in the West, like Edmonton wouldn't even be really like sniffing the playoffs, and they're in third place. Like LA wouldn't be in the playoffs.
That's true. I guess it gives those other teams a shot.
It's anyways. Okay, that's it for us on the long podcast. We will talk a little bit more about how the trade deadline has worked out. We're going to do a little bit talking about other teams because we did a preseason look over of every team, and we're going to see where we got right, where we got wrong.
Yeah, I can finish that.
Yeah, and also talk about some bold predictions for the playoffs because they are coming up, whether it pertains to the Leafs or pertains to other teams. So that's it for us here today. Peace out.